Hey guys, hope you're doing well, maybe blessed. This is my video to talk about the positive traits of dyslexia and try and edit, if you like, or raise awareness of or info about the positive sides or traits of dyslexia. And in this case, I thought I'd talk about some entrepreneurs, business people, whatever you want to call it, business people, entrepreneurs, whichever term you prefer, with dyslexia. So as usual with these videos, I'm going to have three different parts. Could barely fit the title in, but I'm hoping to have three different parts of videos where I'll talk about dyslexic entrepreneurs, successful dyslexic entrepreneurs. Now, according to research, 20% of self-made millionaires in the UK and 35% in the US are dyslexic, and that's just millionaires. So many CEOs, business owners, and that sort of thing are not millionaires. So there are probably a lot more dyslexic entrepreneurs I could talk about. Obviously, many of them are not famous, and the ones that might be famous, that might be dyslexic, might not always talk about being dyslexic. But these, I'm going to try and include as much as I can the dyslexic entrepreneurs who say they're dyslexic. I'm not going to try. I might mention some that are said to be dyslexic, but I haven't said they're dyslexic. So these are the ones that have talked about being dyslexic and talked about their dyslexia. So anyway, hope it inspires people, especially across Asia, especially with dyslexia, and teaches people in Asia who don't have dyslexia about what dyslexic people can do if encouraged. And many of these were probably not that great academically, but still found ways to university. And if they allowed their doubters, critics, haters, skeptics, bullies, or teachers, even in some cases, or even parents, put them down, in many cases, they would never have achieved great things. Some of them had, I think many would say they had parents who helped them and pushed them. But anyway, I'm going to try and crack on with the list. Enough laughing, I suppose, and hope for the best. So here goes. Number one, I thought this list before called, I call it the 3 dyslexic sharks and 3 dyslexic dragons, and it's about for anyone who's watched business shows like the Shark Tank and Dragon's Den here in the UK, Shark Tank in the US. I think it was based or is based on a Japanese model. I can't remember I don't know what the original was called, but it's gone around the world now. The ones I've heard about are Lion's Den in Kenya, Shark Tank in the US, and here in the UK, Dragon's Den. So I'm sure there are many others. I think Dragon's Den in Canada, Australia has Dragon's Den, I think, as well. Anyway, so there are 6 or even 7 either members or former members, in many cases I think former members of the Dragon's Den and Shark Tank respectively, in the UK and US. I don't know about elsewhere because they haven't really mentioned it, whether they're dyslexic or not, but there are 6 or 7. Many of them are not on the panel anymore, but they are successful, financially successful entrepreneurs who are pretty famous by many people who follow these programs. So here goes. Number 1 is Peter Jones. Again, you can Google these people, or you can either check out on YouTube what they have to say, or you can go on Google and find out about them. I think an interesting one is where Peter Jones interviewed an entrepreneur who said he's dyslexic, and then Peter Jones revealed he's got dyslexia, and I think he's mentioned twice that he's dyslexic. I've heard him mention it twice that he's dyslexic. And he said he's partially dyslexic. I don't think you can be partially dyslexic. I think you can have minor dyslexia or more major, but I think those terms indicate that it's a bad thing, but many times it's a good thing, as I hope to come to. And by the end of this video, hopefully you'll agree on many of my other videos. But anyway, so there's Peter Jones, number 1. Again, I won't talk too much about their businesses or what they do or their backstory, because you can Google them, probably check out any books they've done, or they should probably pay me commission. But anyway, I thought of a project like the 3 dyslexic sharks and 3 dyslexic dragons, where maybe they write a book each, or there's a book where each one writes their own chapter, or one of them puts a forward and the others write their own chapter, or something like that. And then there could be board games or different things if they wanted to get involved. But Peter Jones is one. Duncan Bannatyne is the second one. He's a Glaswegian entrepreneur. Again, you can read about him. He revealed he's got dyslexia when someone criticized his spelling on Twitter. Number 3 is Theo Prophetis. Again, these are all in the UK Dragon's Den. I decided to go for those first. I was actually going to go for the Shark Tank first, but I've gone for the Dragon's Den first, so as it happens. Number 4 is Kelly Hoppen. She was in part of the conference for Made by Dyslexia. She was born in South Africa, a white lady, but she was born in South Africa, and she came to the UK, and she's an entrepreneur. Can't remember exactly what her business does, but I think she does something to do with creative design or something like that, which is quite apt if that's true for a dyslexic person. Anywho, so that's 4. Number 5 is Damon John, who's African American, and I might share this video with Dyslexia Help Africa on Facebook. I'm thinking of making videos for them if they want me to, about Dyslexia Help Africa and projects like that, as well as Asia, and similar ones for Asia, as I say. I mainly want to focus on Asia, but I'm going to try probably share that. And he's African American, so he's black as well, so he can inspire people who are also black and dyslexic, I suppose, like another project I thought of. So that was number 5 on it. Sorry, number 6, Kevin O'Leary. He talked about dyslexia being his superpower and things like that potentially, and how a teacher helped him to see, give him the confidence, and that sort of thing. So if you put on YouTube, dyslexia struggle brings shock to tears, you'll see his interview on CNN where he talked about being dyslexic. He's also had a few other videos where he talked about being dyslexic, including on his own channel here on YouTube. Number 7 is Barbara Corcoran, who's obviously also female, so just like Kelly Hoppen, she could be one for the women like to inspire girls with dyslexia as well. So there's minorities, people of colour, and girls with dyslexia, or women with dyslexia, but obviously young girls seeing that hopefully will be inspired, and women who might not have much confidence again seeing with this like this hopefully might help them. So yeah, that was number 7, wasn't it? Number 8 is, I always seem to struggle to count properly. So yeah, there's the 3 dyslexic sharks, or 4 dyslexic sharks, dragons even, and 3 dyslexic sharks, I believe I covered. Number 8 is Richard Branson. He's often talked about being dyslexic. Founder of Virgin. Again, you can read about him. Many people in the UK know about him, I'm sure. People overseas in America and elsewhere know about him. He's a prolific entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. He's created many created many businesses. Controversial character. Not everyone's too keen on him, but I was going to say I'll come to a point at the end of this video. But anyway, number 9, Charles Schwab, investment broker. I think he's he pretty much invented the stock brokerage apparently in America. And number 10, Craig McCaw, who is, I don't know what his business is involved now, or what he's sold, or what he's bought at the moment, or what businesses he currently owns, but he was cellular industry pioneer, mobile phones, as we would say here in the UK. I don't know exactly what his business did, but he made obviously a fortune. He's a billionaire as well. So, 3 of those are billionaires at least. Some are probably working towards it, hopefully. But anyway, hopefully they inspire people most importantly. And yeah, I think that's the first. That's covered 10 successful entrepreneurs with dyslexia, and hopefully people in Asia will find out about them. And if anyone tells dyslexic people they can't achieve something, they can give them a slap in the face. Just kidding, but they can tell them about these sorts of facts about 20% of UK self-made millionaires, 35% US self-made millionaires, and these specific stories, and maybe even find out about their businesses. So I hope people from Asia will share this, especially with those who think dyslexic people can't achieve things, and dyslexics themselves who think they can't achieve, or other people who doubt dyslexics. Yeah, so I was going to say, whatever you think about these people, they've created great brands, they create great businesses. Craig McCaw actually sold, I think, his island. He had an island, just like Richard Branson has his own island, Necker Island, British Virgin Islands, funny enough, because he's British, I suppose. He bought a Ferrari, which is the most expensive Ferrari, I think the most expensive car ever sold, which was $25 million or something like that dollars. So I know he could have given that to charity, but that is his money. So, but he talks about the importance of being kind. So I don't know if that's true, but he seems like he seems like a genuine entrepreneur, and so does Charles Schwab. And some people have their doubts about Richard Branson, but anyway, either way, they're all dyslexic, and I dream for them to encourage them to make their own training academies for dyslexic people, whatever they want to call them, training centres, entrepreneurs with dyslexia, academies, whatever, like the Richard Branson Centre for Dyslexic Entrepreneurship, in fostering dyslexic entrepreneurship in Malaysia, India, Indonesia, Singapore, and all over Asia and Africa as well, and probably having different branches or something like that. So to encourage new entrepreneurs. And I could go on, but I'm going to end the video there because it's about 10 minutes long. Peace and love.